Time again for another installment of The Basics, and on today's show I want to get back to Magic the Gathering because I've been asked several questions about people playing red against blue and if there is a way to counter the blue counters. And if you know anything about Magic, you know that blue is a color of counters and returning cards to their owner's hands. So I'm going to show you how to get around that while playing as red. So I've simulated a two-player game as per usual. I am playing red and my opponent is playing blue. And we're part way through the game. We each have a good pile of lands out, 6 versus 5. And as I've already put out a couple walls and a creature, my blue opponent is, of course, countering after putting out a couple of his own creatures and a wall. Now, I'm going to show you 3 cards out of his hand just because I have to explain it this way. And these are common cards that any blue player will use in their deck. I have them in my blue deck. You have Repulse, which is return target creature to its owner's hand and draw a card. That is an instant. Cost 3. You have Enchant Land. Target land is destroyed unless its controller pays 1 or pays 1 life during his or her upkeep. Effects that prevent or redirect damage may not be used to counter this loss of life. So that becomes a problem for a lot of players because some people are unaware of how to deal with that. And of course, Cancel, which costs 3, counter target spell. And there's a lot of iterations of Cancel and cards like that that a blue opponent would use. My advice to get out of this before it even starts, and you've seen what I've done here, if you're playing as red, you're going to have a lot of power cards in your deck to begin with. So you want to put out a couple walls to start. And you want to make sure that in your deck you have certain cards like Disintegrate, Smash, Incinerate, Fire Elemental, Active Volcano. So they will destroy artifacts, blue permanents, instants. It will do damage to the target or the player. It will destroy an artifact because a blue player is going to be heavy on artifacts, especially that deal with enhancements and counters. So it all comes down to deck construction pretty much and strategy, because when you're building a red deck you want to have a lot of these types of cards that I've mentioned in the deck, and you want to have enough mana to bring them out. Now, it's not impossible to stop a blue player with all of his countering. It just takes a bit of patience. And it starts with building your deck and putting these cards in. And of course, if you have these cards available in your hand, use them right away. So if he has a permanent or an instant, right off the bat, use Active Volcano and a couple other cards like it to get rid of them. Nuke them as fast as you can. If you have some of those red cards that destroy 1 or 2 lands right away, use those. Because the less land he has out, the less possibility he has of bringing those damn counters into the game. Now, based on everything I've said, and as well as my Magic experience over the years, I have never really seen a blue deck that could beat the crap out of a red deck. The blue deck has the potential to stalemate any other color. That much is for certain. But to outright defeat a red deck, I don't see it happening, and I have not seen it happening. So you really don't have to worry too much about blue if you're playing red, except for the fact that you might be drawn into one giant stalemate. But if you have the cards that I mentioned in your deck, you should be able to beat your blue opponent no problem. That's all for today. Have a great day.